Welcome to The Big Reset, Marketing and Business Edition, a podcast for entrepreneurs, forward thinkers, and marketing junkies embracing new world business strategies and zigging when others zag. Host Scott Harkey is president and CEO of OH Partners, one of the largest and most decorated creative agencies in the Southwest, which has helped open the door for him to sit down with an array of high-octane guests and personalities, all with credible stories to tell and valuable insights to share. As the advertising and marketing industry continue heading towards new world shifts, align yourself with true leaders in the space and make the Big Reset a weekly habit as you stay one step ahead of the masses in your journey to self-educate, learn, and grow your personal and professional brand.
What up, Lawrence?
How's it going?
Dude, thanks for coming on.
Of course, man.
Okay, so this is just freaking random. Like we're talking on the phone. Colton calls me, and he's like, Scott, like you're in the ad business, I'm in the ad business. I just want to like pick your brain. I'm like, hell yeah, like let's talk. And then we like start talking, and I was like, damn, this is like good shit because like you're scaling a digital agency. You worked at Facebook.
Yeah.
You partnered up with your boy.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, like. I've had this conversation now probably like, I don't know, a dozen times with ad agency owners or digital marketing owners, and they're like, and I like saw myself in that same spot, and I'm like, this would be great for a podcast. I'm like, we'll connect again, but like I want to get you on the podcast because I think it's a cool story.
Yeah.
So tell me about like your guys' story. I mean, we were talking earlier, but tell me about your story. Tell everybody about what you guys have going on, how you've scaled this agency, and kind of where you're at. Let's talk through this business a little bit because I think there's a lot of learning people could take from it.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I mean, historically, I usually go first, so
let him go first.
Yeah. So, without going too far into things, I mean, I've been in sales for 8 to 10 years. What really got me into this business, and I had a lot of call center experience. There's a company out here that contracts with Facebook. So I landed a sales and marketing role at their office.
What's that company called?
T-Tech.
Okay.
So they also have the Google building that's down by Tempe Town Lake.
I think I've heard of this company.
Yeah. So when you're a conglomerate that's that big, you have these other companies that you'll contract with, and they represent the company like a satellite office. Yeah. So we had access to all of their internal systems, and they brought me to understanding a lot of paid advertising and Facebook Ads Manager and how that stuff works. About 6 months after being with the company, I was promoted twice. Kind of figured out that I could really nerd out on the Facebook ad portion of things. Started pulling clients outside on a freelance basis. Me and another employee started kind of tag teaming some of these accounts and working together on them. That kind of took off. One client turned into 15. I was literally on my lunch break in my car, closing deals.
What was your specialty there? Like you were like, was it the ad platform and serving the ads to the right people at the right time?
So I think probably the biggest takeaway that I have from the time that I spent at that company was probably the diverse amount of businesses that you'll talk to, because you have 10 phone calls a day that are 30 minutes long.
When it's like a plumbing company, it's like
and then it's a mobile physical therapist, it's a gym, it's a yoga studio, it's a law firm. Like you get a lot of experience.
And T-Tech's marketing to like small business that we can help you with your advertising.
Correct. So you probably get the emails too. I mean, they literally say that you can book a call with a Facebook marketing expert. That's literally what I was. So there's an algorithm that Facebook has, could be based off of the spend on your ad account, or it could be based off of lack thereof. And then you basically book a call with me, and I help point you in the right direction.
And what kind of budgets are these ad campaigns?
The biggest budgets that I ever saw, I mean, I saw companies like Smile Direct Club. There was people that were on the phone with like law firms that were spending $1 million a month. The largest budget that I've ever seen, Smile Direct, they had like $70,000 to $80,000 daily budgets on campaigns.
Holy shit!
Yeah. So we handled some crazy stuff, but you'll get the mom and pops. And
like, what are the mom and pops spending a month?
Like $300 a month, maybe $500 a month. And
average account's probably what, a couple grand a month?
I would say the average account's anywhere from like $2,000 to $4,000, but that's part of our job too, right? If they're not spending enough, point them in the right direction as to why they need to spend more to see some traction on their ad account and certain things like that.
I've seen a lot of ROI, like depending on what segment, like I was looking at a consumer product segment in the golf industry. I'm like, I think, we're going to get about 6 to 1 ROAS in this kind of Instagram specific. Like,
for sure.
I think if we spend $1,000, we're going to sell 6,000 a product.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, but like based on industry, like if it's home services versus a product versus a clothing company?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, generally, if you're going to be doing paid advertising, what we were taught is that if you're going to do anything less than $20 a day, you should probably save your money and put it somewhere else.
Yes.
I'm not saying that you have to spend $10,000 a month, but I'm also not saying that you are going to see good results with $500 a month, right?
Yeah,
so it's one of those things where the interest demographics, behaviors, the targeting has to be on point.
Yes.
And paid ads operates off of the bid and auction system.
Correct.
So if you're not spending that much, you're going to get eaten alive in the ad auction. So I would say e-commerce, you can get away with spending quite a bit and kind of guaranteeing yourself a return, because e-commerce is super saturated, but it's also really popular.
For sure.
I saw a lot of businesses that were home service, like maybe it's an insurance agent that wants to get some leads. Lead ads can be kind of expensive. The cost per lead can go up. Your CPMs and your cost per click can kind of be through the roof. It depends on the time too, though. I mean, Facebook ads is so affected by the economy and like the politics and all that stuff that goes on.
I saw a big opportunity with Facebook when they were getting hammered on the media.
Yeah.
Because we had to pull up some of our clients, but other clients, I'm like, game on.
Yeah.
It's half off right now. Let's go.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. But I mean, that's basically how I started there. Parted ways with the company, and then I met him. He can go into what he does, and then we just kind of partnered up.
Yeah, no. So I actually started while I was in college. My senior year, I was going to NAU in Flagstaff.
Okay, NAU guy.
Yeah, and I was actually doing real estate because my grandparents taught me, right when you turn 18, go get your license in something. School's not going to really get you where you want to go. So I got my real estate license, and I was doing real estate deals every weekend just to pay for college. $500, $300 rentals, and I had no experience in marketing whatsoever. And so there was a mom and pop shop cafe in Old Town Scottsdale that I was going to every week, and no one was going in there, but I loved the owner. And I looked at his website, looked at stuff, and I went up to the owner and I said, without any experience, I was like, look, let me help you. Give me 3 months, and if I don't help you grow, you don't owe me anything. If I do, then you can reward me.
Hell yeah.
And in 3 months, I taught myself how to code, how to build websites, how to do Facebook ads, how to do everything. And in 3 months, I tripled his sales. From there, I went from 1 to about 35 businesses in a matter of 2 months. And I remember my dad calling me, and my dad was like, my dad's a CPA. My dad called me and is like, how many clients do you have? And what are you charging them? He's like, you have an LLC, right? And I was like, what the hell is an LLC? He's like, Jacob, you have a business. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I learned is people that we hire right now, and there's this thing right now that like millennials are so entitled, stuff like that. You do see that a lot. There's a lot of people that we employ that believe because of who they are, they should get this type of retainer.
For sure.
My first 10 clients were practically free to build a portfolio, to show what I could do. And then when you're good at what you do, the money will come in. And that's what I believe. And we really connected. I had someone I kind of took from Facebook and was an employee for a while, and that he knew him, and he told me a story, and he's like, you guys should talk, right? Because all my business was organic, right? Through Facebook groups. I was building dummy accounts through Facebook accounts to get in mom groups and stuff like that.
Wow.
I was acquiring Nextdoor accounts to do those
Yeah,
things.
we do a lot of interesting
We have
stuff,
like 85, so I was doing all these things to create organic leads.
For
I
sure.
hated Facebook ads because my clients couldn't pay a retainer plus pay a Facebook ad, on the ad account. So I was like, look, I'm going to utilize Facebook groups. I acquired about 10 to 20,000 Facebook groups. I created dummy accounts to get into mom groups, depending on the client, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when he found out about that, he started having us work on his accounts, on his clients.
Right.
And then we talked about it, and we're like, look, you offer something that I don't, and this. And so we partnered up.
Vice versa, yeah.
And we kind of joined forces, and we started growing. And
it's kind of like a little match made in heaven.
What's the name of the agency?
Fantastic Media.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
How long have you
Fann.
guys been together?
We practiced on saying that in
I know.
unison.
Fantastic Media.
Like, we're gonna slam me down here, man.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been together?
We've been partners officially for just over a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was operating as a separate entity for the last two and a half years.
Okay.
He was operating for the last 5.
yeah, so Fantastic Media, we decided that was very home because my grandparents came to Arizona in 1950 and started the first dealership here called Fann Toyota. And in their commercials, they would say, my Toyota is fantastic. My last name is Fann. So I started Fantastic Media.
That's cool.
So when we partnered, we were talking about the name and stuff like that. I was like, look, we work with the living rooms, like big time clients. And I was like, they know the name Fantastic. I want to keep it that way.
That's perfect.
So he came into Fantastic. He brought his clients on board.
Yeah.
And we joined forces.
I was an expensive price, but we kept Fantastic.
So call it between 3 and 5 years. You kind of both have been doing this.
Sure.
Officially a year together, and now you've scaled up to 35 clients and like 12 employees.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
in
about
1 year.
45 clients. About
45.
12.
That's insane.
Yeah, 12. We have about 12 employees. From a full content team that does our daily content every single day for our clients, to a daily manager that handles the account to generate leads every day for our client, and then we have an office manager, and then we have like assistants to our lead gen that are in Facebook groups every single day generating leads and stuff like that.
So this is what I love about the marketing business. Like, this shit's the Wild West. And
Right.
like, anyone can play if you hustle. Like, this isn't about your degree. This isn't about, like fancy clients. Like, it's put in your time, grind it out. I mean, because I was telling you guys off break, like that's how I started. Like, my business partner and I like literally started the agency in his condo in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And we were too embarrassed to like, have people come to the condo with 2 cats, like in his kitchen. Like, so we would like make excuses to go like meet people for coffee.
Yeah.
And we just hustled. Like, I came from the media world, and we just hustled and like figured out how to get accounts and figured out how to like make the small business accounts that we had money. Like, that's what it comes down to, is like, can you make businesses money through marketing, and can you prove it? And I still see that today. And now I think today, like I met with a big Fortune 500 advertiser last night, and I was like, okay, talk to me about your agency team. I was like, okay, well, I got 72 and Sunny. They handle our creative. I freaking love 72 and Sunny. This person handles this, and I got this boutique digital agency that does this. And I was like, oh, that's freaking pretty cool. Like, you could hire anyone in the world. He's like, yeah. What I noticed is these big, multinational agencies, I would have these calls, and he used to run a big deal in Europe before. And I'd have 20 people on the call, 2 people saying something. I know I'm billing out on each person. I know what the hourly rate is. Like, this is insane. Like, I want speed and value. So I do think like now is the time, especially as digital is the media of choice, social specifically. It's the time now for anyone that wants to be in this business can, but like it's not for the weak-hearted. Like,
no, I think one of the biggest things that we run into is everyone is either a real estate agent now, or everyone does social media.
Yeah, everyone's a marketer.
Hey, I can build your Instagram. At the end of the day, what I've learned is, no matter if a client is spending $50 a month or $5,000, $10,000 a month, if you're not generating ROI for them, there's no point.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it. We meet so many people that are like, I can create great content, I can do this. Okay, that's great, but are you getting that in front of the right people? Are they generating conversions?
For sure.
And especially with our clientele, because we're small businesses, you're taking 20, 30, maybe 40% of their profit, they're putting into marketing. You need to generate them an ROI. You need to do that for them. And so, that's one thing why we wanted to talk to you as well, because we're learning and we're I would say, like I said, one thing that we're learning is like, we're month to month with clients, right? I believed, and when we talked about this, I hated when marketing firms, and that's with a lot of our clients, they'd be like, I'm on a 3-month agreement, I'm spending $2,500 a month, I have not generated one single lead.
Yeah.
And I, as a small business owner myself, it just gives me the chills.
Yeah.
That's why we're month to month, but at the end of the day, it sometimes bites us in the ass.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny you mentioned this, and this is one of the things you wanted to talk to me about.
Yeah, for sure.
I have mixed opinions on this, because on one hand, I think long-term contracts are good, and I have made a lot of mistakes around contracts, whether it's been business partner contracts, whether that's been client contracts, because like I don't like negotiating at the end of the day, and I don't like contract shit. Like, I want to do marketing. Like, I want to grow someone's business. I want to create things that with a team that make people loved by other people, and they make money. Like, that's what I love doing. So the contract stuff, I just don't like. I think at the end of the day, like, we're moving into a new world of connection and people, and I think there's going to be like, and this is just me, and I'm, maybe I'm, like in my dream world here, but like stay with me for a second. I think like we're going into a place where there's going to be good vibe people. They're going to be doing business with other good vibe people, and there's going to be a clear separation between people who did it old world way and people who are doing it more enlightened way. And I think the enlightened way is exactly what you say, which is like, look, we're going to be good people. We're going to do good work. And if it's not a fit, we're not going to hold someone to some bullshit contract.
Right.
Right? We're going to work it out.
Right.
We're not going to get legal and like, okay, you're going to get a couple more months of billing.
Yeah.
You know, like all of our contracts, and we have huge contracts. I mean, the first big contract we won was the Arizona Lottery.
Yeah.
It was a $55 million contract, 5 years.
Wow.
It was huge. But at the end of the day, if they're mad at me, like they can fire me.
Correct. Yeah.
Like if anyone's mad at someone, like you're going to find a way to get out of that contract. Like
I totally agree.
maybe
with
we could make some more money on it. You know, look, I have other long-term contracts. I think at the end of the day, I would do year contracts with 30-day outs or 60-day outs.
Yep.
You know, just get it papered so like you don't have to keep going. Like as you get more institutional clients, they're gonna want on both sides, you locked in, us locked in.
Yep.
But like give an out.
Yeah.
I hate these bullshit deals of any contract or any partnership that doesn't give people an out. And I've learned a ton around this to actually pay attention more to contracts.
Yep.
Especially business partner contracts. But I think for advertisers and your clients, look, like, what are you going to sue your clients?
Exactly.
So you're going to be the ad agency that sues clients?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, see how much business you get. Fuck that. Like,
Yeah.
Let's be the good people in the industry and do it the right way. And we know how this world works. You do good work, you get more clients.
Yeah.
You do shit work. You lose clients and you lose
People
employees and people talk and all of a sudden you're out of business. And this business is too competitive to like, you're either one way or the other. So that's I don't know if that answers your question.
No, for sure. It's actually super insightful to hear you say that too, because, obviously me and him both, his father is a successful CEO in the Scottsdale area. My father is the CEO of 4 large companies across the valley. One of his largest companies has over 75 to 85 employees. It's a stone and tile company. He's been doing it for like 50 some years out here. The point I'm drawing home is that I got a lot of my business logistics, sale knowledge from seeing him growing up as a child. So for me, he kind of told me, exactly what you said. If someone wants to get out of a contract, they're going to get out of it. Yeah. If you deliver good work, they'll keep paying you. I do agree that you need to have something written up and you need to have it, even if it's a month-to-month term, 30-day cancellation, what have you. But it's kind of funny, when I met him, when I was working at Facebook, I used a lot of the time that I had there like an internship. Yeah. Because I knew that I wanted to start my own thing very shortly after working there. Love it. So when I was on the phone with all these different businesses, I was asking them questions to create that handle time, the call time. Like, let me pull up your account and blah, blah, blah. They hated when you had dead air. Yeah. So I'd be asking them questions, like taking notes for my own agency. I'd be like, what are you frustrated with right now? How much are you paying? Like, what makes you not satisfied with your current company? And the things that I heard was they overpromise and underdeliver. They overcharge. I'm locked into a contract. They treat me like I'm a number. They only care about when the invoice is due. So when I met him, I'm like, hey man, if we're gonna partner, like these are the core values of me.
I love that.
I want to change.
So your core values are completely consumer based.
Yeah,
correct.
You've found out the consumer pain points and you've built a company to like solve that problem.
Correct.
I love that.
Yeah, I think one of the things and why we connect with clients too is that we're super
minus the good looks and stuff like that.
Emotionally,
it's not all about that. It's really not all about that.
We're very emotionally connected with that, right? I think the biggest thing is that we're emotionally connected with them. We start group chats. We're in the group chats even as owners. We're there. We have them come in for.
What do you mean group chats?
Slack channel.
Yeah. So when
we're group chats with all your clients together.
Yeah.
Correct. What?
Yeah.
We really want to over communicate, man.
That's insane. Like you have all clients on a group chat together.
Yes.
No. Sorry. Each client has their own group chat. Okay. Right. So like
on a G chat.
Like, so for example,
Slack, text thread, message. Something like that. We use Google Hangouts, stuff like that.
So for example, let's say we close an account tomorrow. Let's say a law firm. Right. What we would do is, depending on who's the account, who's in charge of their account, the content, things like that, we create a group chat with them and an email chat with them, and we schedule a weekly call with them. We're very big on over communicating, and that was one thing that we talked about, is that we want to make sure that no matter what, checking in with them every couple days. That's why each account has a daily manager. We have 3 daily managers that handle a book of business, and they have their own content team for that account. So they can communicate with them, generate leads. Mm-hmm. For some of our accounts, like I said, we're generating 150 to 200 organic leads through Facebook groups and stuff like that. but they need to be communicated
Facebook
with
groups, that's smart.
because the biggest thing a lot of our accounts, and I was told this when I first started, the biggest accounts that you'll have will be the least amount that that will drive you nuts because they're so busy.
I talk about business all the time, and the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
And I'm big on this as I've scaled up from 2 employees in a condo to over 175 employees. When I look at my book of business, I'm always like, okay, typically in almost all businesses, 80% of your revenue is from your top 20% of your clients.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Literally like clockwork, it's insane. So you're like, okay, how do you get bigger clients?
Mm-hmm.
So and a lot of times, and this is the brutal truth of the business is your smallest clients that are kind of a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have real conversations with them and think about replacing those clients.
That's a really good thing to bring up. I agree.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And it's not like a disrespect thing. Look, if you have small clients and they know they're small and they're cool as shit, and they play by the rules and they're easy and they know they're like they
know their place.
Kind of like in a good way. Like, look, if you're if you're getting a good deal and a good service for and great work,
for
like
sure.
be happy and be cool with it. But if you're a small client and like you're causing problems, like that energy is killing you from servicing your big clients and getting more big clients.
Mm-hmm.
That is the biggest problem I see. The second biggest problem I see with marketing professional service companies is they get too concentrated with their big client. So you have a client that's worth more than 20% of your business, right? And that big client becomes basically, you all of a sudden aren't an entrepreneur anymore, you're working for that client.
It's like you only have one client.
You have one client, and they know it, they feel it, they feel the pressure, they know, and you have now people and livelihoods and families that you're responsible for as an entrepreneur. You have 12 people that like you have to put food on the table for them, right?
Yeah, we do.
Right? So think about so clients know that. They feel the pressure, you feel the pressure. So I've always worked really hard in getting other clients to make sure not one client's more than 20% of my business. And that doesn't mean I don't love that client. I do. And it causes problems at times because clients love you. You love clients. It's a relationship, but it's also a business, and you got to protect your business. And so I see that problem all the time.
Yeah.
Because you're so busy servicing your shitty clients who don't play by the rules, who aren't profitable.
Yeah.
And then you feel pressure because your biggest clients is worth a lot of revenue.
Yeah.
So where are you prospecting to get other big clients?
Yeah, for sure. It's almost like, a smaller client, for lack of throwing out a retainer or numbers, because that doesn't really matter. Like, it's almost like you're overworked and underpaid at that point.
100%.
Yeah. And then you're overworked and on the other clients. And
so what I've done in the past is I've gone through my list of clients, and I always go through my list of clients, and I know who's my biggest client and who's my smallest client, and I know my average rate per hour, like all this shit. And I go look, and typically my lowest dollar clients are also like clients I probably lose money on.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have a conversation with them. I'm like, hey, like we're losing money on this account. Here's why. Here's where we're at. Here's where I need you to be to be profitable. I love you. And look, if this isn't a fit too, I'll find another smaller agency I'll refer you to. Like, look, I want to be friends with you for life. Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk here.
Yeah.
And either you raise them up to a level, or you lower their services, and they go on, or they're gonna be mad and they leave. But you have to have. And I think this is about relationships in general. Like, how do we have authentic, brutally honest relationships? Whether that's our girlfriend, whether that's our kids, whether that's a client. Like, I think this world needs more brutally honest relationships. You know what I mean? And that could be with our clients too, and just be like, hey, like, and the way I get away with it, and I learned this a while ago, is like, I just ask permission. I'm like, hey, like, can I have a tough conversation with you? Or, hey, can I say something weird? Or like, hey, like, can I just get something on the table? Like, and they typically like, yeah, for sure. And then you can go into this kind of vulnerable conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, historically right now, and I'm sure he'll be okay with me saying this, like, I'm a lot more blunt and upfront, and I like to have those discussions that need to be had. And he's a little more passive.
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, I'm a passive
But it
person.
literally, it's funny
I'm like
too.
you probably too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it really, really makes for a healthy partnership. Like we talk to our parents all the time, who are our
This
mentors.
shit works all the time. My
Yeah.
business partner and I do this all the time.
Yeah.
He's bad cop, I'm
Yeah.
good cop. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
he's tough. You know, like,
and my dad's always like, it's a really healthy partnership the way that it works. I would take a bullet for him and vice versa.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses.
That's great.
And like there's certain clients that he can talk to, there's certain clients that I can talk to, and there's certain clients and employees that don't want to talk to me or him.
Yeah.
They just pull one of us aside. But that's how it is, because if a conversation needs to be had, whether it's increasing a retainer, having a difficult, discussion or something like that, I'll be the one that does it, and we always do things together. There's a couple more questions that I had as far as about the marketing agency that I would think would be interesting to run by you. So one of the other questions that I have is, do you, and once again, I'm sure with how big you are, it's probably different for some clients and stuff like that. And that's not to undermine us, but retainer business model versus paying per lead versus paying for, like, how do you feel about that in this industry?
I love this question.
Yeah.
I think that clients and people want options. So anytime I lean towards one or the other, a client wants something different. So, like, look, if your client wants steak, don't say you only serve chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think a retainer is easier to manage.
Yep.
Right? I think a retainer, if I was a client, I'd want to be on retainer, but I'm not the client. Commission, I think personally is more profitable, but has more risk.
Correct. To the agency.
To the agency. Correct. Right?
Yep.
And I think clients have a hard time understanding that, look, the bigger the budget, the more work at times, but there's also efficiencies. So clients are smart, right? And we would be doing the same thing. Like, I try to put myself in, I guess it's called empathy. I don't know. I've learned this in the last 5 years. Like,
For sure.
I try to put myself in my client's shoes, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you have to be a good business person and negotiate good deals for your organization. And I think what I've learned is people are always have a fear of getting ripped off. Right? There's because it's not even so much about the money, it's emotional.
Sure.
It's like,
absolutely.
Right? Like, you're dumb. Like, no one wants to feel dumb. Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's something, like, for me, I like to put it all on the table.
Yeah.
And for me, what I've really learned the last 3 years is I say, like, weird shit. Like, it's so honest.
Yeah.
That it, like, kind of surprises them a little bit, especially in negotiations.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to feel like I'm, like, trying to, like, get one over. This business is too hard. There's too many people that do what we do. There's too many agencies out there. There's so many choices.
Yeah.
That, like, I think we have to go to another, like, click level of authenticity and vulnerability and openness and transparency. And, like, look, here's what it would be retainer. Here's what it would be commission. Here's a blend.
Yeah.
I don't like the per lead bullshit.
Yeah, me
like
neither.
that.
Yeah,
I just don't
either.
because I think the lead gen people, like, they're not marketing brand people.
Right.
And I don't believe in lead gen. I believe in marketing. I believe marketing produces great lead gen.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just another
direct
way of saying
response
the same thing.
happens
Yeah.
when you have good marketing programs and a good brand and good services.
Okay.
Right? I'm not the one producing leads for you because I'm so freaking smart.
Yeah.
I'm helping you as your agent craft better communication for you to get leads all over the place.
Right.
And if we want to get down and start slicing and dicing where they came from and whether I'm doing it or you're doing it, like, I just think that's going down a relationship, like, wormhole.
Yeah.
It's like when you go into a relationship and you're scorekeeping, I just think that's not a good relationship. I did this for you, you did this for me.
Yeah.
That's, to me, lead gen. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I've never done it.
Yeah.
I know people have been really successful with it, made a lot of money, but it never lasts.
Yeah, that's actually making me think about some of the clients we have now. I'm not going to name them.
Yeah,
it's just interesting because the whole scorekeeping thing, it's like, in your opinion, and like I said, I'll have a couple more things to bring up. If you're working with a client for a year and you were getting them, let's say, $30,000 a month and 50 leads.
Yeah.
And then now they're doing $150,000 to $200,000 a month. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you're getting them 100 leads. Sometimes they're like, oh, well, you know, from this month, these are the leads that came directly from you. These are the other leads that came just from another source. In my opinion, everything that we've been doing, all the leads are from us.
Yeah.
And that's like pulling teeth sometimes.
Yeah, look, we're arguing over like who did what.
Yeah. You wouldn't be there if you weren't with us.
This is a team sport.
Yeah.
You know, marketing is a team sport. Now look, driving leads are great. I love direct response. I love doing programs that do that.
For sure.
How you do the compensation model, it just has to be like in good spirit. And I think if it were me, I would do some sort of retainer and smaller amounts on the leads, because all the lead gen people I know, they're doing great until someone says they can do it better, and then they're with that person.
Yeah. It's a price shopping.
I think the biggest thing when we do lead, I like retainer.
Yeah,
I know,
me too.
especially when you have employees and you have people, you want to know that you're making a certain amount and things like that. So even with the lead gen blend of social media management, it's all retainer and things like that. But that's, you know, going into that, I think that was the kind of the cool thing of what we did differently is like, he didn't understand when he was doing paid ads and when I showed him what we can do organically to blend the two, because his ads now can go into all the Facebook groups that we're joining. You can share them all and it's organic reach.
Yeah.
And that was just the cool thing about that, I think.
If I'm a CMO, I'm doing retainer with bonuses based on specific KPIs that we agree on.
Yeah, we call it a performance bonus.
I love performance bonuses.
Yeah.
It's like, look, you want to be accountable to doing good work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, the KPIs are, you know, just making up KPIs based on direct response or leads, I don't fully agree with.
Yeah, and I asked this question, and all the questions that I'll throw out, because our business right now, like he said, we have a couple clients that are a performance bonus with retainer, but pretty much it's all retainer.
Yeah.
And there's multiple reasons for that, and every client's different, right? If we have a chiropractor and we know that if they get 10 leads that they convert that month, depending on what service they sign up for, they're making a shit ton off of insurance.
Yeah.
So if they're going to make 10,000, 15,000 off of getting that many leads, just throwing out some random numbers, I'm going to want to charge them $5,000 or $4,000 a month instead of $1,500 to $2,000 like some of the other clients that we have, right? So for me, it's one of those things where doing the retainer business model, especially on a month-to-month results-based formula, sometimes if you were to do a commission only, sometimes what people don't understand is that, and I tell people this all the time as part of my sales pitch, if a marketing company is going to guarantee you results every single month, I want you to work with them and not us.
Yeah.
Because it's unrealistic. So if you're on a commission only business model, you're not going to get paid that month, and it's like, it's this whole thing, but then it creates animosity. And people are like, why are you making money when I'm not getting results? And it's,
and look,
it's this whole thing.
I get CFOs want that, and a lot of CEOs, like, they're like, I'll pay for performance. Yeah, I get that, of course. Like, of course, everyone wants that.
Yeah.
Like, I want, I want a relationship that's all about me, that it serves me and does this and does that and does it. Of course, but it's not realistic.
Work's still getting done.
Yeah. So I think, and again, for us, I like doing projects first. I think we're in a project world. So for us now, what I do is I kind of have this dating courting period. I don't know why I relate clients to dating.
It's a lot like it.
It totally is.
Yeah, it's a relationship.
But I typically like a couple projects early on, like, let's get to know each other. Let's see if this is a fit.
Yeah.
And let's do some good work. And then let's think about a retainer. And I think that, because like as a client too, it's like, hey, put me on retainer. It's just like, oh shit, like this just sounds like an expense. Like there's a lot of risk. I don't know if and everyone's saying the same things. Everyone's trying to sell me shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like, maybe there's some sort of, 2-month trial. Give me 2 months. Let me show you what we can do.
Right.
And it's X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's and then a retainer, client should get a little bit of a discount.
Yep.
Because it gives you some stability.
Yeah.
So it's not really. So there's a ton of ways to do it. But I like options and I like open conversations. And yeah, I don't like. I would prefer a blend.
Do you have packages?
We've gone back and forth on this.
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, agencies are custom manufacturing of marketing services.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you get down to packages, you become more like an ad tech company or you become more like a media company. And look, that's fine. Like mass production of cars are great.
Mm-hmm.
Mass production of a lot of things are great.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have to decide: do you want to be a product that is mass producing something, where you could probably make a lot more money? It's definitely more scalable. It's definitely more sellable. Or are you in the custom world, right? Are you going to be high end custom, or are you going to be like mass produced manufacturing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that. Oh,
go ahead.
Oh,
I see you shaking your head.
No,
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
go.
Jump in here.
I think that was one thing that we agreed upon is like I hated the package model.
Yeah.
Gold,
Because
silver, bronze.
every client that we have, no matter if they're in the same market, they're all different. And all of their goals and things like that. Like when we go into a meeting, we go into about 2 meetings before we actually sign the client.
Yes.
The first meeting is kind of like getting to know you.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? What have you done? Onboarding, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's where we don't even throw out a price yet. We don't even know our price.
For sure.
And I think that that's the biggest thing with these other agencies. There's other agencies that I've talked to that have even tried before I partnered with them that want to buy me out. And they're like, this is our booklet of our pricing. If you want 6 posts on Facebook, it's this. And I'm like, every client's different. For some clients, we post every day. For some clients, it could be 2 times a week. It just depends on their base and their clients and stuff like that.
You want to be reach local and sell for $300 million and have a process and packages fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a business segment. I don't think that those business segments are going to be hot in the new world that I talk about.
Right.
Look, do you want to go to Cheesecake Factory, or do you want to go to that cool, authentic, custom, underground spot?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think people today are kind of like, screw Cheesecake Factory. Like,
Yeah.
it's a nice place. Like,
Yeah.
you know what you're going to get,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think in the agency world, we need to be honest about that. And look, can you have some general packages and pricing that you're mix matching together? I think it's good for agencies to have a couple of products within their organization. So it's like, I have the Facebook, 365, and it does X, Y, and Z. So you're helping provide solutions that are proven, that are part of a product. Because I do think people like products because they produce things. Services is something that you've had bad experience with. Sometimes you've had a great experience with home services or professional services. Like people forget in our business, we're in the same business as consultants, lawyers, accountants. We're in professional services, right? So I like mixing in some products that provide some security and some predictive kind of things that will happen. But I still think at the end of the day, we're in professional services, and depending on what market segment you want to go after. If you want to go after small businesses, low end, turn and burn kind of stuff,
Sure.
that might be a great segment.
Yeah.
Like in all businesses, I have this chart that I talk to people a lot of times, and I'm like, if Lamborghinis are here, and what name like a cheap car?
Honda.
I mean, Hondas are good. I put them more mid to low.
Got it.
Don't say Toyota.
No, like the lowest of the low, like freaking
Kia.
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 Thank you.
There you go.
Kias are making good cars now too.
Yeah. Kias aren't bad. They're not bad.
Okay, an old $500 car that barely runs, and a hoopty.
A hoopty. Yeah, let's just call it what it is. Right? Let's just call it a hoopty.
And I make this chart, right?
Yeah.
And the Lamborghini's here and the hoopty's here. Like, as a business, where do you want to be? Right? For us and our agency, I felt that small clients take just as much time as big clients. And I worked with some great creative people that wanted to do work internationally, that wanted to win Cannes Lions, that wanted to have national creative work that would make people cry, that would be respected. And to me, I watched agencies that I love, like Droga 5, 72 and Sunny, Wyden and Kennedy. I've watched some of the big stage worlds do work that you're like, this is the type of creative work that you're doing literally could change society. Say what you want about the Nike campaign, what they've done with Colin Kaepernick, the world's different after a freaking ad campaign that they did, and they did it earlier with Nike too. So for me, the segment that I wanted to play in was high end, Fortune 1000 clients.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Well, you do work for big brands cheaply. You don't make money on creative campaigns, right? We've done a lot of campaigns that we've lost money on because we want to get known for doing that kind of work. That's a strategy. There's other people that can be the Honda Civics of the world,
Mhm.
produce a lot of great advertising that works well for people, that's affordable, that that they can have a ton of clients and make a lot of money off of.
Mhm.
So like picking the kind of car that you are, picking the kind of watch that you are, like
Mhm.
from a brand standpoint.
Sure.
I think it's important. That's why I always, not always, I hate when people say always or never, but
Yeah.
that's why a lot of times, in any sort of brand launch, before your business plan gets built,
Sure.
I want to understand your brand.
Mhm.
Like, what brand are you guys going to be aspirationally 5 years from now? Like, who are you and what market segment are you serving? Sounds like you understand kind of your segment already.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, picking off of, kind of piggybacking off of what you just said, I think a really good company to talk about, and then I want to circle back to the whole packages thing and just touch on that for a second from how we operate. I think a really good company that a lot of people don't think of, or maybe they think that they're truly an energy drink company and they're not, is Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, Red Bull's not my opinion, Red Bull is a marketing company.
For sure.
They actually, from what I understand, don't quote me, I think they even outsource all the production of their drinks.
I'm sure.
Like, they're not manufacturing that. Like, they are a marketing company through and through. In my opinion, they have some of the greatest content that is produced in the globe.
Red Bull was producing content before social media was.
But it's kind of funny too, right? Because like they're an energy drink company, but in their segment that they're going after is like the extreme sports and like all that stuff. But they are a marketing company through and through.
Yeah.
For me, just going back to the packages, the reason I brought that up is just because it's exactly like what you said. It's our job when we bring in a client, whether it's Zoom, phone call consultation, in-person meeting at the office, because right now, out of our portfolio of clients, I would say probably 80 to 85% of them are local. The other 10 to 15 are in other states, other countries, certain things like that. A lot of that's e-com because it's super easy. We don't have any, you get all the services that we offer for one retainer, but there's some services that we might not do because it's not going to help optimize your account. So we create a marketing strategy. That's all the services that we're going to do. Could be paid ads, Facebook groups, Nextdoor, organic, lead gen, content creation. On top of that, you also can have things changed on your website. We can create your social profiles for you. So it's like, that's just what we do. And obviously that comes from, as you know, having a staff that you're paying salaries to so that you can get a website built and it costs you whatever your hourly rate is. It's not like it's on your lap.
I think you guys have probably a more opportunity than agencies like mine for that process kind of specialized product world.
Sure.
A little bit, and especially the market segment that you serve. And that will probably produce a little bit higher percentage profit and happier clients. Because it's like, if I'm a restaurant, I want to know what am I getting?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to hire, you're not competing against other ad agencies. You're competing at sometimes nothing or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas I'm competing against other ad agencies. Like, I know exactly who I'm competing against.
Yep.
So I've put solutions, products, marketing together for that.
Yeah.
So you probably have and businesses like yours sell way better than businesses like mine.
I don't know about that.
No, for sure. No, it's true.
Really?
Like, if you had...
Because, right now, what we're trying to do is, obvious, and for me, I handle the client relations, the sales, the business development, logistics. He kind of understands all the back-end stuff. For me, we're trying to, obviously, get to that next level, and we'll talk about more of this later, but I'm just trying to, how do you kind of go from, if you look at your business, and you look at what you're doing revenue-wise every month, and you're doing the same thing for 8 months... That's good because it's sustainable, but it's not growth, right? So
let me give you kind of, because I've talked a lot of private equity, and I've really, the last few years, wanted to understand the business that we're in and what our value is and what we're creating with our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think smart businesses do have exit strategies. I love this business. I don't want to exit, but I think I need to think about, 10 years from now, 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
So businesses like mine sell for 3 to 5x EBITDA profits, or a multiple of our gross profit. So if we're going to do 10 million in gross profit, then we would probably sell for between 0.7 and 1.4, or we would sell for 3 to 5 times profits. And professional service profits are different, right? Because you have car expense, you have this expense, you have entertainment.
Yeah, for sure.
Profits are a choice, right? A lot of times in professional service.
Mm-hmm.
For you guys, if you build some sort of IP around the process in which you create results for your clients in a digital world, you can sell for 7 to 10x EBITDA. So size actually doesn't matter. You know, like if I'm maybe like 80 employees or 70 employees, and I'm a regional agency, it's probably 2 to 3x. If it's at where we are today, you know, I'm probably more like 6, 7x because I have international clients and we're, you know, 200 employees kind of range.
Sure.
So that's kind of the delta that, like, think about the value you're creating in your business. So that's how I would look at it. It's a choice. Like,
Sure.
It's a choice. Do you want to be? I never wanted to be a regional agency. I saw how crowded it was, and my whole goal was to be a national agency. Now I'm finding out the competitive, you know, set for national agencies to win creative work. It's insane.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a choice. It was a choice to compete in that arena, and that's the cool thing. We all have choices to figure out where do we want to compete in the business, and that's why it's wide open too. That's why you and I are talking. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's not a competitive thing. There's so many clients out there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
No, that's one thing that we like to do is, and we kind of got away from it because of how busy we are, but even we like to network with other marketing firms. See what they're doing. They ask, when they find out the Facebook group stuff that we're doing, they're like, oh my God, that's awesome.
That's freaking brilliant, by the way.
Yeah, it was honestly just thinking outside. I think that in marketing, you've got to, one thing that I just thought about is like, you've got to think outside the box on some stuff.
For
and
sure.
like I said, it's just when I met, like, every client can do Facebook ads and things like that. Like, how do we reach moms in a different area?
Yes.
Let's create dummy accounts to get into these mom groups. There's neighborhood groups on Facebook. How do we get in those neighborhoods? Let's create dummy accounts that say they live in those areas.
Smart,
right?
man.
So that they can. That's actually like, it kind of got us off the map.
Next door, like, that blew my mind.
Yeah, it's a neighborhood app that we're manipulating for leads, man.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Pretty crazy.
So that was the thing is like when we meet with a client and we sit there, we're really diving into their brand and understanding who they are. And like I said, and then I'm the one that creates the strategy.
Making recommendations in those. That makes sense.
Yeah, we make recommendations. So I have a rep that gives it, and it doesn't matter. Like she gives me, she'll be like, okay, what? Yeah, what area?
The five people that watch this podcast. Like,
what area?
Yeah, all 5 of you.
What area do you need?
Give us
What
a call.
area do you need? The Nextdoor account. They'll create the dummy account. We get them right, and then I started acquiring Nextdoor accounts from other friends and people, and just gathering lists. We actually we're partners in a window coverings business that went from one window covering. It's called Scottsdale Window Coverings. They went from one location to 15, all through Nextdoor. Like, that's literally no ads, no nothing like that, just Nextdoor. So that's one thing is that we're really big on. We meet with the clients, we create a strategy with them depending on who their customer base. We ask too, if we're gonna charge this much, and this is something that we kind of thought about, is like, if we're gonna say we wanna charge $3,000 a month, how many leads or qualified leads through what we're doing do you need to get in
business, foot traffic, purchases,
do you need to
sales,
get to
whatever
pay that
the
retainer
KPIs
every
are.
month?
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's something that they love. They don't, because a lot of other marketing firms don't ask that.
It's like
hey, we're going to take over your Instagram, we're going to get you 1,000 likes, and then we're going to retarget them every 3 months so that don't expect results.
To your website.
I just hear that every day.
Doesn't it feel cool though when you like grow someone's business? Like,
Yeah.
That's
create
why I
shit?
fell in
Yeah.
love. I think that the
That's
thing.
why I love the business too.
Yeah, same.
I have someone that I know that he tried to start this and do stuff and help businesses, and he can never get a client for 3 years. And I told him, because you're going in there and you don't believe, like, you don't love what you do. You're doing it for the money. You see the dollar amount. And that was the biggest thing when I grew that cafe. I was a part of a process that took him from here.
That's such a good point. I want to go back to that because like, you have to believe with every like bone in your body that you're gonna make money for this client.
Right.
Absolutely.
I can remember I was talking to a personal injury attorney and we were like maybe 3 years into it. And I literally said, I said with so much commitment, he had an agency for like 20 years and I knew the agency wasn't doing that great work.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if I don't do better than what you're doing now in 6 months, I'll give all the money back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
I'll-
do.
In
Yeah.
fact, I'll
Money
even
back
pay you
into it.
extra money. I know and believe that I can help you and I can make you money. And it took me like 6 months to try to convince this guy, and I did. I made this guy a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I knew I would. I would break my back to make sure. And
Yeah.
I had all these little things of like how I would negotiate media different, how I would do digitally different.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's all about. I love
Yeah,
it.
and we've done the money back guarantees and stuff like that on something that we're obviously, insanely confident in.
Yeah.
Not to undermine something that we don't have a money back guarantee on with our confidence,
Yeah,
but especially being on a month to month as well, like.
But you had that experience. You worked at Facebook. You know
100%.
exactly what to do. You know
100%.
exactly how you make somebody money, and like
100%.
that. like that. I think people like we're all worried about like money back guarantees, or we're worried.
Well,
about...
it's betting on yourself.
You're
literally
100%.
betting on yourself.
But I think people feel that energy.
Yeah, they do.
Absolutely.
They do.
Sure.
Like, we can say whatever we want. We can have packages or whatever. But at the end of the day, I've had the other side of the coin too, where like I wasn't confident.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm pitching it, and like, I didn't think we were gonna get the account, or my energy wasn't right. We don't get it.
So I have a question for you on my note. One of the things I think, and we're kind of dealing it with some clients. A lot of clients, maybe it's on, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. There's clients that want they want to work at that level of talking to me. And they want to work with us because of me sometimes, because of my strategy in my head.
Yes.
And I'm trying to get out of that because I want to help him build the company,
Yes.
right? Where like we have clients that are like, we want to talk to you, we want this. There's a lot of clients that we have that want me on the calls, and I'm trying to I was talking to my dad about it, and I'm just like, how do I create that median of understanding of I'm still there. But you have a daily manager that's managing your account. It's
like going from an employee to a CEO.
This is really hard, and I'm glad you brought this question.
Yeah, it's hard.
I still struggle with this. Gila River is like one of my biggest clients. I love these guys. I want to be with them all the time, but they know they have a team.
Yeah.
I think your role as an agency owner, at least my role as CEO of our agencies, is to make sure clients know I'm there. I'm not absent, but I'm not day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and this also, and this is kind of a weird thing to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. When you can step back and have another layer, you can help save things too.
Absolutely.
If you're day to day working on an account, and I've seen Superman syndrome happen like crazy with a lot of CEOs, where they come in and save everything, right? Save the day. If you don't create processes and great people to service that, there's no next line of defense.
Yeah.
Superman failed.
Everything's
fired.
failed. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think just being up front, like I guess with anything in life, like, hey, you have a day-to-day manager. I'm here for you.
Set expectations.
I'm here for you. I'm not going to be day-to-day. I have to run a company.
Yeah.
And they get that. And the ones that don't get that, you're going to have, and I'm learning this so much, and it still trips me out, but like there's like a lot of people that get like little jealousy vibes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we realize it, like especially like I don't consider myself that much like a jealous person.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people are like, oh, why aren't you on my account? Like, am I not good enough? Or like all the time, like little shit like that. Or other competitors are like, oh, like, I don't like you, blah, blah, or whatever. Like there's some sort of like insecurities that is being like nicked, and has nothing to do with us. It's all insecurities of other people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like, don't take it personally. Like for me, it took me a long time. Like, hey, I'm here for you. I'm not day to day. And if they get mad about it, go to somewhere else. Go work with another agency. I'm building a company here. I will be there for you. I will take your call. You call me at midnight. I'll answer the call. But I'm not day to day. And if you want me day to day, it's not happening. Go work with another agency. Like I'm scaling a legit company here.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I think that's we just had that discussion with a client because we were talking to them. They're like, we wanted to work with you because of Jacob. And like this, and I'm like, we're sitting here, and we're like, but I'm not the day to day. Like it's just one of those conversations.
But as the business owner too, you have to literally let your employees do their job. Otherwise, you're kind of getting in the way.
And I'm to the point now where like, there's so many clients I don't even work with. They don't want to work with me.
Yeah.
Here's the other deal. I have so many people at the agency are 10 times better than me. Like in every area, like that's where I think was an aha moment. I've done every job at the agency and I've fired myself for someone better each time. Because I'm not that good. I'm really not. I'm a master of all but like I'm not, there's better. I'm a great media person. I think I'm a great media planner. I've got 10 better media planners than me.
Sure.
In every area, I've fired myself with someone better, especially their specialty. And so now clients they don't like that, and now I get upset. I'm getting jealous. I was like, wait, what do you mean, Stephanie? They don't want to talk to me. Bayless doesn't want to talk to you. Seriously?
I think that's a part of our growth too. Is hire instead of when we first started this, we were hiring friends, people that we went to college with. And my dad...
We became friends after the partnership.
And our fathers...
It's hard.
Yeah, and our fathers are like, you need to hire people that don't know you, that are smarter than you.
The other thing too, though, is it's
scaling this is impossible. By the way, scaling agencies from 5 people through about 40 people is the hardest thing to do.
Well, that's one of the things is, are you overstaffed or are you understaffed? I brought that up to you when I was on the phone with you in the car. You don't really know. Like, and I know we got limited time.
Yeah.
Overstaffed, understaffed, like that's
I look at
hard.
the analytics every day. I have a person entire job is to look at that. And it's hard because one moment someone's billing 60 hours in a week and the next one they're at 30, like, and stuff's out of scope and we're either over-servicing or under-servicing.
So would you rather be overstaffed or understaffed?
I'd rather, that's a great question.
Like hire as you need it or have the people ready to
well,
go?
Well, I think in our business, the new model, especially with work from home and with all this stuff going on, I think our agencies need to be a portion of full-time and a portion of freelance. And I think we need to master that world because the ebbs and flows of clients coming in and out is impossible to predict, and hiring good people quickly is hard. Like you need, and especially where you're at now is scaling, you're gonna make mistakes hiring, and now you're trying to find mid-level managers that are tough. So I think I would try to find good freelance option that can help me scale up and down, and I would actually be a little understaffed, but have freelance options.
Interesting.
Right? So then as deals come in and out, I have that stopgap and then I can hire. Because I like to get deals and then go hire, but like you don't have time to do that. So freelance can help you come in, and that's why like other agencies and like I like
together.
have this like altruistic like viewpoint of like our market of let's say Phoenix or we have an office in Vegas too, that like we all know each other as agencies and freelancers. I just see freelancers and agencies and creative people and digital people
For sure.
all working together in this ecosystem.
Right.
And with Zoom and Slack and all this stuff, like I think we need to get really good at this world. And of course, I think having all freelance is a disaster. I've seen a lot of business models that way. And I think having all full-time doesn't work either. I think you need to find the blend that works for your company.
And I think that comes with then charging the right price to a client, because if you're charging, that's the one thing that we've dealt with is that when we're hiring, like let's say a videographer,
Yes.
right, a full-time videographer, the first thing there is like, well, I can get paid what you're wanting to pay off one client.
Well, yeah,
and it's coming up with those
you need
prices.
to negotiate good deals with vendors.
Yeah.
And number one, and number two, the right deal. But you may lose money for 2 months, but the work will get done, and then you'll hire full time once you have enough work.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right? And freelancers understand that. Like, hey, I need you for 2 or 3 months, and as this goes along, I feel confident with this client, then I'm going to hire that job in house.
Got it.
Right? And I think that's the new world, and freelancers should give you a little break, and like you should have your 20 freelancers that you use all the time, like your boys or your boys and gals, like that you trust.
Yeah.
And we have a network of freelancers. I have people I've worked with in this business now in 20 years. I probably have 100 people that like I'll hire randomly that work for our agency. By the way, I think agencies should be okay with people leaving your agency to go start agencies or to go freelance. At some point.
Yeah, at some point.
Right? I've hired people to do projects that have left our agency all the time. Because I know what they do, I know their work output, I know they're good, and like even if you have another job doing whatever and you can make, 5 or 10 grand, on a deal, I think they like that. That's gonna be the new world, I'm telling you, it's gonna happen more and more. We need to figure out solutions for that.
For sure.
And we need to create a good vibe for all of our deals so people know who they should be doing freelance work for.
Yeah.
Because they'll have choices too.
I agree, man.
So, great. I mean, this is all over the place. But
Yeah. No, it's okay. This was really good.
Thank you guys.
Really good. Really
I want
appreciate
to
it.
connect with you guys again, hear more about what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Anything I can help with, or whatever.
Of course.
Yeah.
What would you say to an agency owner right now? Like, what's one kind of piece of advice would you say to an entrepreneur or your younger self as a business person? That's kind of like what have you learned like in this thing? Like, what's one thing that like comes to mind?
I would say that if you're not failing, you're probably not learning.
Ooh, I like that.
That's what I would say. I mean,
Love
you
that.
have to fail. It's like if you're learning how to skateboard. If you're not getting bruises and cuts, you're probably not
You're
trying.
not pushing hard enough.
Yeah.
Jacob.
Yeah, I have a lot. But
That's all right. I love it.
I think that one of the
Cool,
things
we got
that-
15
yeah,
seconds.
Yeah, no.
I think one of the biggest things that I've learned is like you have to love what you do, and I think it's about finding a purpose in life. Like
Ooh.
if you're just doing, like I said, we meet so many people, young people like us that are like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I can make this much, this is what I am. Who's telling you that you deserve that?
Ooh.
Do the work, be good at it, love something, and the money will come in. In today's society, people will pay for anything. If you're good at what you do and
I
you
agree,
love
I
something,
agree.
you can create a monetary value for that. If you love to paint, anything like that. I mean, there was just a story about a kid that's literally selling shoes to athletes. He's pretty well known, And it's love because of shoes. And he's just creating these things. You meet 13-year-olds that are killing it because they love creating YouTube videos. They're putting in content. I think that in today's society, you can do anything. And I think that you just have to love what you do. And I think that's the basic.
I love that. I was thinking the other day, you're a tattoo guy. I'm a tattoo guy.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I was wanting to put like right here on my wrist is purpose.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Like every day, how do like I wake up and I think about what is like, am I living my purpose today? Like, what is my purpose? Like, am I visualizing that? And then great things are going to happen because I'm freaking fired up.
Yeah.
Like, I know exactly what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
People feel that.
Yeah.
So I love what you said. I agree. Love what you do. It kind of is a cliche, but like, especially now in a world of automation, like, you know, autonomous vehicles and AI, like the creative like field and things that we do, like you'll need to love it.
I have one more thing.
Yes, I love it. Go, please.
What I would say is too is I mean, for example, like my girlfriend, they see other people and they're like, oh, because you're 26 and you have a business, I want to do that. I need to start that. Everyone's life and when that comes of what they love comes in they can come at 40 years old.
I agree.
Look at Mark Cuban. He was sleeping on his friend's couches until he was in his late 30s, became a billionaire. Like everyone,
look, and there's more of that. Henry Ford. I saw a thing the other day when all these people like started their businesses. It was late.
Yeah.
Like some of the biggest like billionaires in the world, like Henry Ford and like all these guys. Like you don't need to be Mark Zuckerberg, you know, like some.
And that's the biggest thing that I think.
Or whatever.
I think that people look at other people and they're like, I should be there. Everyone, like when I started this, it was just a click. And I think the more you try, the more things that you do, you'll start to learn what you do. And then tomorrow you can find something that will change the rest of your life. And I think that it's a process.
I love it.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so
Appreciate
much.
it, man.
Thank you so much for having us.
So tune in, share, do whatever you do. It was great having both of you guys on. Hopefully you have some takeaways in your own business, in your own life, and just people helping people, man. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You just experienced the Big Reset, Marketing and Business Edition. New episodes of our highly engaging series drop every Wednesday, while past sit-downs are available to stream or download in our archive. For more, follow your host at Scott Harkey on Instagram. And for more on OH, check out ohpartners.com.